Hello, my name is Jim Mulder. I'm the Executive Director of the Association of Minnesota Counties. I want to welcome you today as we talk about Minnesota's most precious resource, our water. With me today is the Commissioner of the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, Commissioner Cheryl Corrigan. Welcome to the Association of Minnesota Counties and welcome to our discussion about impaired waters.
Thanks, Jim. I'm just delighted to be here today.
One of the most important things that we face as county government, as citizens across the state, is the issue about not only how do we protect our waters, but the quality of our water and just access to our water. Recently, we've heard lots of discussion about impaired waters. Could you tell us a little bit about that and why should we be concerned about impaired waters?
Sure, and I'm glad to hear that folks are hearing the words impaired waters. It's our number one priority at the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. It's also a key priority for our governor in his Clean Water Initiative. And essentially what the Impaired Waters program is a portion of the Clean Water Act requires us to assess our water bodies across the state, to list them for any impairments. And by impairments we mean water bodies that aren't meeting their designated uses because of a particular pollution problem. So for example, common impairments that we hear across Minnesota are due to too much phosphorus or nutrients that cause low dissolved oxygen and then subsequent fish kills. Other impairments are from total suspended solids, so sediment and dirt that gets into our water through stormwater. Mercury is a very significant impairment in Minnesota. And so those are the kinds of pollutants that we're talking about when we talk about impairments. When the pollution levels in certain bodies of water get to a level where they cause that water body not to be able to be used for fishing or swimming or recreation or irrigation and so forth, then the water body is impaired. So then we have to do something about it. And this is a provision of the Clean Water Act. It was a provision that wasn't paid attention to up until the mid-90s when several states were sued by various environmental groups because they hadn't been paying attention to the impaired waters provisions and TMDLs.
Well, you've laid out somewhat of an aggressive concepts about how Minnesota will be responding to these impaired waters. I've heard rumors that as much as 20 to 40% of our waters are under that definition. That's going to cost a lot of money to clean up. Do we have a sense of where that kind of money is going to come from?
Well, you're right. It is going to cost a lot of money. In the 80s, recognized that we had a significant problem, and so our legislators and others took a leadership position and promulgated our own Minnesota Superfund, as well as a Superfund program on the federal level. And essentially what we're looking at for impaired waters is the same kind of commitment. Our estimates from a year or two ago, based on the impairments that we knew about, were that we would need between $600 million and $3 billion just to deal with the conventional pollutants. That would be the pollutants outside of mercury.